Let's go behind the mask.
Welcome back to another special edition of the Behind the Mask podcast. I am your host, Takeo Spikes, joined alongside by my co-host, better known as
your favorite plus size model, Tucson Ray, is in the building.
What's happening, my brother?
All is well.
Listen, man, we got some special guests that stopped in on us today, man, and I cannot wait to introduce them to our following because we got a lot of cross intersections when we come to conversations, relationships, and it's a lot of stuff that we never had the gonads to do, but they did. But without further ado, I want to welcome in Eric Bigger. He was on the 13th season of The Bachelorette, and also Chris Randone. He was on the 14th season of The Bachelorette, ended up winning the 5th season of The Bachelor in Paradise. Guys, welcome to the show.
What's up, man? What's up, guys? Thanks for having us, man. This is a pleasure.
Thanks for having us. We're here, baby.
Yeah, we in here, man. We appreciate you guys stopping by, checking up on us, and we just want to do a quick check-in, man. Like, so what have been keeping you occupied throughout this COVID-19 times?
Oh man, I mean, besides self-care and self-help, getting in the gym, Eric and I, we came together and we actually created a book, man. We were on the grind for about 3 months, just writing in Google Docs, FaceTiming every day. We knew that there would be a lot of struggle in this world because of isolation. We've been part of isolation before, and you know, the idle mind's the devil's playground. So me and Eric wanted to come together and really do whatever we could just to help the masses, man, change your mindset and help change your energy.
And okay,
create change. If it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. You know, and everybody has a story, and everybody deserves to have a breakthrough to get on the other side of themselves in these different times in life. So I'm happy to be here on Behind the Mask podcast with my business partner and friend, Chris Randone, and you guys. So thanks for having us. And we're all about transformation.
All good, bro. I appreciate the energy that you both bring. But before we get into that book, because I'm an author as well, so I really appreciate what you guys are doing. How did y'all come together, and what was the interest that led you guys into becoming the reality TV stars on The Bachelorette?
I'll start it off. Well, I met Chris, Bachelor in Paradise, season 5. Summer 2018. It was lit. Got in trouble on that thing. Considered the villain, but make a long story short, Chris and I connected. We talked. We spoke about a lot of different things, especially that surrounding self-help and personal development. And I was telling him about some ideas I had, and he's like, "Look, bro, when it's all said and done, I'll help you. We'll figure something out, and we'll work." And it took 2 years, thank God for time, right? 2020 pandemic hit and we connected and we went from there.
Yeah, man. When we first met, we had like a lot of common practices in our life, a lot of methodologies that we apply to our day to day. And Eric was like, explaining his life to me. And I'm like, I kind of resonated with him and we connected. And in all honesty, like when you have that sort of connection, you definitely don't want to lose it. And, from there, we just continued a friendship. And, to be honest with you, he's one of my best friends now, man. So I'm very grateful to have him in my life.
That's dope, man. Let me ask you this now. I guess I believe in love at first sight. But, you guys talked about 2 years before, everything came full circle. Do you really think you're capable of finding love in that short amount of time as, a season of The Bachelorette?
Well, I'll say this. The NBA has a bubble right now, right?
Yeah.
So The Bachelor has a bubble. And in that bubble, your only focus is the person, right? You don't have a phone. You don't have outside distractions. You don't have anything but your heart, your mind, and the person. So, and then you have these big, fantasy dates and trips. Like, I went to 6 countries on my season.
Nice.
So I was gone for 10 weeks, right? But it's so vetted because you're just tunnel vision. You're just focused on the person. And when you put 2 people together and they do all these amazing experiences and you're vulnerable and you're talking, the best comes out and you subconsciously you fall for the person because it's like you guys are connected. So from my experience, because I fell in love on the show for the first time in life, people are like, how? That doesn't make sense. It's like, well, all we have is time. I don't have a job to go to. I don't have nobody to talk to. I don't have social media. I have no distractions. My focus is the girl and the show and what we have going on. So what happens is if you're open enough, like I was open, love can happen for you. And some people go on the show for different reasons. I was just curious of why. My why turned into love, and my life has changed ever since. Even though I didn't win my season, I won because I fell in love. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think the best way to put it is like the amount of time that you spend with someone is equivalent to like 6 months to 12 months dating in the real world. All you have is each other. You wake up, you're with each other, you go to bed with each other, and all you have are those deep level conversations that maybe you wouldn't have after 10 or 12 dates in the real world. So everything is expedited, everything is heightened. And with that, that connection becomes deeper and stronger by the minute. So yes, you can fall in love that fast. I mean, you know, I definitely was someone who fell in that spectrum as well. And it's up to you if you want to keep it going after the show or not.
E, I want to talk to you about this because you mentioned, you specifically mentioned like you were able to last a long time and you got a great experience out of it. And the experience almost led to you winning, becoming one of the finalists in the end. And so you talked about I fell in love for the first time, which I find that kind of hard to believe, but I'm in the game. I'm in the game of being sold right now.
Hey, there we go. We want you, not the non-believers. It's good.
But like, what did you take from that experience? Even though you did not win overall, you became a finalist, but you're still winning in life right now.
Well, you know, I'll give you a little backdrop on my history as, you know, just in life. You know, growing up, you know, I had emotional abandonment issues with my mom and just family, right? So it was hard for me to receive love from a woman as I got older because I didn't get it from my mom at an early age. So what I did was when I dated, I just gave love, right? I didn't know how to receive. So what the show did, it put me in a position where it was fight or flight, right? I was either going to open up and receive the love or I was going to run from it, what I did my entire life. So I got to the point where I'm like, look, E, if you're going to be here on the show, we're going to go all the way or we don't go at all. So you're going to surrender, you're going to open up, you're going to figure this thing out. And the show, honestly, was like free self-therapy. You mean you have your producer, you have a therapist that's on the show, and you learn so much about yourself. So I was open to the process. The process got me somewhere, and love hit me, you know, at a beautiful time. And that's what It's Miracle Season is really about, going through a transformational phase internally to getting something that's powerful, innate, like falling in love. So it just was one of those things. It was the first time I've never experienced, but it was beautiful. Like I remember, I had visions in my head. Like I remember the moment, I remember everything. But what I'll say is love was the only thing I was missing from my spirit as a man to go on to the next level. Because after the show, all my dreams came true, you know? So it was all because I was open to a process that I didn't know anything about, and I let love in, and love took me to the next level in life. And now I'm able to love myself more. I'm open to receive love, and I understand like balance in a relationship. And it just feels good to have that experience and have it change my life and transform me into a better person.
That's dope, man. It's beautiful. Me, I'm looking at it like, you know what? I had somebody that in my past that said, you know what, I want to move in another direction. Yeah. So it never made it to national TV though. No social media, none of that stuff. Chris, let me ask you, what type of pressure is that, knowing what happened, you know, weeks or months ago, and essentially you're getting rejected, but now the whole world sees it?
I'm good, seriously.
Well, I'm gonna walk you out because you deserve that, and
I don't need like a walkout.
Well, I don't think you need anything, but I'm going to give you that respect.
To be honest with you, that's a great question, because as men, we don't want to be rejected, right? Because I mean, there's that level of ego there. There's also the competition. There's also the thought of not feeling wanted. It could affect our confidence. It could, you know, really help us not believe in ourselves. So getting rejected on national TV, the way that, you know, you kind of process it after the whole thing goes down is, you know, how do I respond and react to this? Because how you respond and react really kind of defines who you are as a man moving forward. It's like Eric said, there's a lot of life lessons that we get in life. And one of those being rejection, whether it's through a woman, whether it's through a job, whatever the case may be, rejection's kind of inevitable. But I think as long as you step up to the plate and at least shoot your shot, It doesn't matter, because there's going to always be a lesson that you learn. And what you do with that lesson really kind of dictates what happens next in your journey.
Chris, you walked away as a winner, and I'm pretty sure, like, I really don't have any regrets. But is it one thing that comes to mind that if you wish you could go back and you could change throughout the process, what would it be?
I think one thing that I would change is not taking it so serious. And what I mean by that is, you know, you're in there and you take it so serious, like it's real life, and everything that's happening, you take personal, you get defensive, you know, you treat it as a competition. And to be honest with you, if you just let it go and just have fun and just embrace everything rather than try to take anything personal, it'll really allow you to experience it at a higher level than, you know, really disabling yourself from getting the full experience.
I guess what I can appreciate from both of you guys is how you kind of transformed, moved on. E, you said you were in love, you know what I'm saying, for the first time. That has to be major. So in the aftermath, how do you deal with seeing the person that you were in love with everywhere? She's moved on, she's dealing with somebody else. How does that make you feel as a man?
Well, I mean, you know, that's a great question, because I think if you take the context out of it, you know, everybody, when we look at love, when we look at life, when we look at success, righteousness, we like to generalize what that means for everybody, and it's different. So for me, prior to the show, my heart was broken, right? Because I didn't get that love from my mom the way I wanted or needed as a child. But the love I got on the show actually filled my heart up where I was full. So, and then it was like I knew what I signed up for, but I knew the love I got on the show was a spiritual gift for my life to carry on in the future. So it wasn't like, oh my God, like, you know, I hate you. It was more like, yo, I want the best for you. I love you. I care about you. I understand this process. I get it. I'm not mad. My life has changed. I feel good. It's more of an agape love, unconditional love. And that's what I had for the Bachelorette, Rachel Lindsay. And we had a beautiful time. I didn't end up with her, but my life changed. I got my miracle of falling in love for the first time. So I feel like the show for me was for me to experience love for the first time, and it changed my life. So everybody's experience is different. I think when people think about heartbreak, or you don't end up with the person, they always think it is like it was negative. Mine was a positive, because everything that happened afterwards, it was like, she helped me out. Thank you. And it wasn't like, oh, I didn't feel no resistance. I was disappointed, of course, but I understood the big picture. And so to this day, I'm happy with the decision. My life is amazing, and I'm thankful.
And talk about the book and what has that meant to you guys? You guys bring it up, and for the listeners that don't know, give us a little insight on it.
Well, you know, just in general, right? You know, change your mindset, change your energy, change your life. A lot of times in life, we give our power away to the government, to a partner, to a business, to a career, to whatever we believe we should, you know, because we have identity crisis. We don't know who we are unless we have that thing, that person, that money, that car, that position on the field. And when that's taken from us, we don't know how to be ourselves. So this book is a tool that we want people to use to become their best self, to figure out, who am I without the material things? Who am I without the relationship? Who am I without the career? Like, who am I? Who are you? So we want people to reclaim their power and stop giving it away. And a lot of times we are not who we think we are, because we don't really know, because we haven't really went through the internal process to get to the root of who we really are. And it's a book with tools to help you live your best life. Transformation. And this pandemic has caused a lot of ruckus and a lot of just negativity. And we want people to regain their power, become something, know who they are, and create magic for their future. No matter what's going on, you have the power, and you can stand on it, and you can own it.
Chris, you want to talk about it as well?
Yeah, man. You know, the thing is, especially when it comes to men, we like to hold things in. One, because there's a level of trust with people that we want to talk to, especially when you're on a heightened scale and in the public eye. But on another reason is because, we want to be masculine. We want to be dominant. We want to show strength. And a lot of us growing up, we were taught that strength is holding in our emotion and not crying and not letting it out. And we wanted to give something as far as a safe space for anyone to write out their problems, to go through different questions and exercises that maybe they've never even looked at before in their life to ask themselves. And what that allows you to do is, first off, is get rid of stored trauma in the body and allow you to move forward. There's a lot of things that prevent us from our higher self in this life. And that's only because we don't let go and we don't address things that we've come across, but rather hold it in. And so giving people that safe space and giving people an opportunity to just focus on themselves allows them to reclaim their power and elevate themselves to a higher level.
And you've both been on national TV now, experienced public heartbreak, have a book that's out. I think some of our followers want to know, how do you deal with all the women coming at your way? Because I know they're coming at you. You guys are some handsome gentlemen, man. I know they're coming at y'all, so let's get to the dirt. How do y'all deal with all that tension?
Hey, man, listen, it's a game.
that blue check mark is crazy.
Hold on, let me take my notes right quick.
It's a game, and if you understand it and you're a player and then you play it, but it comes with the territory. It comes with the space. It is different. It can be overwhelming at times, but we give so much of our life on national television. We give so much of ourselves, and there is fruits of that, of our labor, like not just with women, just in life, with opportunities, with podcasts, with meeting, phenomenal people, having, great invites to great, adventures or whatever. But it's an experience within itself. If you don't level and ground yourself, it can take the best of you. But it's different. I'll say that.
I got to be honest with you too. So I never got to live that sort of life yet, because obviously right when my show ended, I was in paradise. And then next thing you know, I was wifed up. So, having that, being in the public eye and having the fruits of our labor, like Eric says, I never had it up until recently, where I haven't really started to give it much attention until probably like the last month or so or two, and there's that little magnifying glass on Instagram. I'll tell you what, man, I've never experienced it before.
Explore page.
Wow.
Hey, that shit, it's so addictive, dog.
Bro, oh my God. Bro, hey, listen, I've been on there for 4 straight hours before. I'm looking at women in Pakistan, like I want to wipe them up. Like ASAP. I love it. Like, bro, so all you do is you look at the story, you send them a little fire emoji because you got the blue check mark, and you just pray to God that one of them responds.
I love it.
I'm like Ray Allen in the DM, so it's got to go in.
Gotta go in. Money, clutch.
Love it.
Oh man.
Laughter is medicine, man. That was good. Good Almighty. Amen.
No, bro, it was no, that was real though. That's one thing that you really took us behind the mask on that.
Yeah.
Like for real though, because
oh man,
sometimes you get caught up on it and you'll be like, oh my goodness, I did not realize God made us so beautiful in different ways.
Bro, I got a little notification yesterday. It said your screen time is up 80%. I'm like, oh, damn, I know why.
You gotta get your thumbs a rest, man.
I mean, I was in Dubai last night for like 2 hours. What can I say? Come on.
I tell you what.
Oh man, God is great, man.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Women are phenomenal.
So we talk about the fruits of the labor and how it brings so many things. So who is that one person which you would like to share that maybe they're also known as a celebrity, and that you open it up and you was like, damn, I'm getting their attention? Or maybe you have one. It's a great opportunity for you to reach out to her now.
Wow.
You go first.
You go first.
Loaded.
Yeah,
I got extended clip on those questions.
I gotta check the depth chart real quick, man.
Wow. I won't say names, but man, the blue check, man, it'll have you looking like you the man. Man, it's a blessing. It's a blessing. I will say that. But here's the thing. There's a lot of blessings that come with it and a lot of other things that come with it you can't prepare for. That's negative, a lot of resistance, it's just a lot of different things that as a person, an individual, you just cannot prepare for. And but hey, it changes your life. So I guess you take the good with the bad. But I don't really have any names. I'll say like
they know it.
They were blue checks.
They were blue checks.
Hey, man. You go straight to the top of the comment section. Hey, with the eye emojis. Yep.
I think Eric told me this like 2 months ago, and he was like, "Listen, a lot of women will give you energy in some sort of way, right? And it might not be directly, but it could be subliminally." And I won't name any names either, but I will say that 2 days ago, I had commented on this girl's picture, right? Just a fire emoji, nothing serious, but
blue check.
Yeah, blue check. It sets the tone.
Yeah,
and she liked it, and that was all the confirmation I needed, because now she knows that I'm there somewhere, like I'm in that energetic space, and now it's up to me whether or not I want to make another move or whatever the case may be. But as soon as you get the smallest glimpse of some sort of energy that they give off to you, they're not going to like it if they don't want to entertain it whatsoever, right? So, you just take it and run with it, and whatever happens, happens.
Nice, man. I might need to go ahead and invest in that blue check, man. What you think, Spikes?
What?
Hey, you gotta get the blue check.
I like staying under the radar, man. You know what I'm saying? But now we're all competitive nature, you know what I'm saying? So, and you guys have competed on national TV for the love of another woman. What are some of the best ways that females out there can compete for your attention?
They can or can't.
They can. How do they get your attention?
Substance, man. Substance, energy, intellect, conversation, just perspective. I want something real. I don't want something to tell me what I want to hear because of you think I'm a somebody. Like, no, treat me like you would treat everybody, but give me the respect, but also let me know that I can learn something from you. I like substance and energy and a person who values themselves, their mind, their body, and their soul, and who takes care of their internal being as much as their physical being. So that's what I'm looking for, if that answers the question.
Yeah, I mean, for me, mental stimulation, I think, is number one now. I think if I was younger, I would probably say, physicalities is first, but obviously that's high up the list, don't get me wrong. But I think just having that deep level conversation with a female, I think is incredible. Why? Because when you can connect deep on an emotional level, I think when you take it to the bedroom, it really enhances it so much more. I think it gives it a whole nother experience. And I think that's something special that you can share with any female or just anyone in a relationship. So definitely that. And I mean, obviously, I'm a sucker for like meditation and yoga pants and, the whole nine. So, I mean, yeah.
I love it.
Spikes, what you know about them yoga pants, Spikes?
Man, listen, I was introduced to them things about 3 years ago.
Hey, man.
What? That's the only listen. That's the only time I don't mind being first, because the front view mirror is nice, completely nice. Nah, but so us being people with status, you got athletes, entrepreneurs, entertainers like yourself, celebrities. People look to us and they look for that motivation, that inspiration. What would you recommend to maybe the younger male who is looking to come up and who's inspired by seeing both of you guys, Chris and Eric, and they say, you know what, I want to take my career and look at going into reality TV, especially in this sector where they're trying to find love or spread hope to everybody who's looking for love?
Yeah, I would say be yourself, man. Like, there's no reason to try to be someone else, because at the end of the day, people are they'll accept you for who you are if you are genuinely yourself. When you try to be someone else, you got to try to maintain that. And also, people can see that you're not genuine, and that'll just cause a disruption with where you're trying to go or with your goals. So definitely be authentic, be genuine, be yourself. And then also is to just be fearless. You can't entertain everyone in life. Not everyone will be a fan of you. Not everyone will like you. However, though, always know that your happiness is what's most important, and you are in control of your own happiness. So if anyone, athlete, entertainer, you're on TV, whatever the case may be, just always remember that, your happiness comes first. And as long as you control that, I think you can thrive no matter what in life.
Well said. I mean, I would say, know what you want, but know why you want it. Because I believe you have to be careful what you wish for, because you'll get it. And a lot of times, things are not what they seem. They look enticing, they look great, they look phenomenal, but when you get it, you might not have the same experience as you had for the emotion. So like Chris said, be yourself, know yourself, and embrace the process, but know that there's a lot of, challenges on your journey to get where you want to go, and you might not be ready for it. But that's part of the story. So be yourself, know yourself, and do the best you can, but do it because that's what you want to do, not what you think you should do.
Yeah.
Dope. Definitely. Eric, man, talk about miracle season. We hear you saying it a lot. Let our viewers and our listeners know what is miracle season to you.
Yeah, so it's miracle season is like a God-given download. So March 13th, 2017, I got called to go on the show. It was a Monday, I believe. It was a Monday. We were on national TV after the final rose, where Rachel Lindsay had an opportunity to see 4 bachelors from her show. So I happened to be one of the bachelors. In my trailer at that time, my producer, shouts out to Louis, it's miracle season was just coming to me. He's like, hey, bud, I think you should say that. I'm like, for real? He's like, listen, you should say it. So I got on stage. I said, Rachel Lindsay, you from Dallas. I'm from Baltimore. Pleased to meet you. What's meant to be will be. It's miracle season. And then we started dancing. It was like I hit a game-winning shot. So what happened in that moment was I was a foreshadow. I was foreshadowing love. So in the back end of the season, I fell in love. That was my miracle. So when I didn't win, it didn't bother me because the win was love. But I didn't know that until the end of the show, and I made it to the final week. But it's miracle season is basically like when, a female, she's pregnant, it takes her 9 months. And then through those 9 months, it's a metamorphosis. It's uncomfortable, it's overwhelming, it's emotional. There's so many different things you got to go through. And then the baby is conceived, comes out. You get the miracle on the back end. So miracle is anything you're willing to have or go through to get your miracle. Because on the show, I got into it with the Bachelorette. I got into it with guys in the house. I banged up my body. I wanted to go home. I had stressful moments. I wanted to give up, but I kept going, and I fell in love, and my life changed. And that's why it's miracle season. And that's how it happened.
I like that.
Yeah, that's a true story.
Yeah, bro, drop the mic. Chris, I want to ask you this. You guys mentioned your book and you talked about why it's so important to you. But what was that transformation like for you? When did that transformation happen for you to when it resonated and you was like, this is it?
What happened was I got into my feelings. I took things personal. I got defensive. And what I saw was I used to be 300 pounds, in high school, right? I was an offensive lineman in high school. I was huge. And I lost like 110 pounds, in college. But what I saw was the weaker version of Chris who, was back in that, I guess, that mentality of feeling defensive, not feeling secure with myself. A lot of insecurities just came out. And as I watched it back, I realized that there was a lot of work that I still needed to work on within myself, because it was clear as day that I didn't love myself. It was clear as day that I was just really beating myself up. And what that showcased was, not the best of characteristics, on national TV. So allowing myself to accept that really allowed me to really move forward and do a lot of self-development, a lot of self-growth that has now changed my life, man. Like now the perspective that I have on life is completely different from when I first got onto the show. So I'm extremely grateful that those flaws came out because I was able to transform.
Dope, man. Dope, man. Great. Let me ask you this, man. You guys were on live a few months ago, and you said something that resonates with me that Takeo and I talk about quite a bit. You said we have preconceived notions about people, and we don't even know why. Why do you feel that's the case? And then also, how can we get over that in this climate that we're in right now in America?
Yeah, I mean, unconscious bias, it's based on the environment we grew up in, the things that people we look up to tell us or teach us. We blind spots, right? Things we don't know that we believe in. And I think for things to change, right, especially in the Black community, for things to change, we have to change. We have to treat each other right. We have to respect each other. We have to love each other. It's like if you and I are boys and we're out and I'm calling you out of your names and I'm talking to you reckless and it's all fun and games. If a new member comes around and he sees me talking to you that way, he's going to think it's okay for him to talk to you that day because you're allowing it to happen for me. So as a culture, we can't want people to treat us a certain way if we're not treating ourselves that way. And we want people to support Black businesses, but the dollar only stays in the Black community for 6 hours. Why? Because we don't have enough information and knowledge. So I think we all have to question, reevaluate, understand who we are, what we are, where we come from, because everybody that's, Black in America doesn't have the same experience. Everybody didn't grow up the same. But I think we should pull, the curtain back and say, okay, what do I need to learn? Who am I? What do I believe in? When I see a person outside of my race, what is my perception? And where does that come from? Who taught me that? Did my grandmother, did my mother, did my grandfather, my dad? Like, we got to start questioning things we've learned over these past, however long people have been born, and start understanding where does those thoughts coming from? And that's what this book is about, right? Like, why do I believe that? Where does those thoughts come from? Why do I have trust issues? Why do I believe? Why do I feel entitled? Why do I play the victim? I'm the victor. I'm not the victim. Why do I give my power away? So it's just like, it's things we don't know that we need to know. And I think it starts with talking and looking within and trying to understand the why. Because it's easy to say, yeah, look at slavery, look at this, look at that, but we don't really understand. Look at you. What about your family history? Because a lot of stuff is passed down in the DNA. I'm supposed to be a drug dealer. I was raised by men that was in the streets. But no, I shifted that paradigm. We're not doing that. We're going to become athletes. We're going to become educated. We're going to write books. We're going to help the young men coming up behind us to be better, to be smarter, to be wiser, and be okay with that. So everyone just has to question their belief system and say why and where does it come from, and be open and listen to somebody else's perspective, because a lot of times we take things personal because of our perception on things and not what the person context of the person is saying it. So I just think it starts with internal work. The hardest work we'll do in life is on ourselves. That's the job you should go to every day. The job of yourself. If you can figure that job out and you master that, you can have whatever you want in life. Because nothing is controlling you. You understand where these thoughts and these pains and this trauma comes from because you've done the work. You guys wouldn't have made it to the NFL if you didn't do the work, but everybody wants to be in your position. Everybody want to be like you. They don't know what y'all go through, but y'all made it through. Y'all had to work.
Right. And Chris, one thing that I appreciated about the conversation that you and E had was it was candid. And I thought it was right on time because you guys, it happened at that time period. I want to say it was right after George Floyd, if I'm not mistaken. But I love the collaboration. And you came on and you talked about just the guiltiness of just the privilege of having privilege, and everybody has some type of privilege, and how that plays into the equation as well. You care to expand more on that?
Yeah, I think a lot of people lack the awareness that white privilege has been in existence for quite some time, whether you realize it or not. But it goes deeper than that. The perception is a huge talk, because in today's society, perception is a lot of people's reality. And we don't even know if that perception is actually true, but it's what we want to believe. And I strongly believe that racism still exists because people want it to. And that's unfortunate. And the thing is, first is white privilege. When you see it in a society, is, well, what can we do, or how can things change? I think the first thing is, Eric hit it right on the head, is dig deep within yourself. If you're not digging deep and asking yourself these deep rooted questions and trying to understand kind of how it is for people of color in this nation and in this world, first off, you're not going to be able to make a change in this world if you don't change yourself. And that's something that people really need to look at deeper than it just being, surface level. It's very deep rooted. And I think that the perception is something that needs to change as well. I think Eric said something great. He mentioned, I should be a drug dealer. He was in that environment. People don't realize that when you're in an environment like the hood and you're around guns and you're around violence growing up, that's all they know. You can't fault someone for being around something their entire life and that's all they know. No one ever gave them guidance or direction or was able to show them a different side of life. And that's the life that they've been in for so long. As you grow up from 0 to 7 years old, you're nothing but a robot, right? You're just processing and downloading all this information as a child. Then you also begin to behave and act based on your surroundings and the behaviors that are surrounding you. So in reality, a lot of individuals, basically all of us, who we are is essentially not who we are. We are based on how our upbringing was. And if you're able to go ahead and peel those layers back, like Eric mentioned, and ask yourself these questions and dig deep, it allows you to kind of understand everything from a different perspective. A lot of people like to have a one-way level of thinking, and it's so unfair because, first off, we're all human. We all came from the same way into this earth. There's nothing different between us, just besides our skin color. So, I hope that moving forward, we can really diminish this white privilege situation. And everyone deserves equal opportunity, no matter what. It really shouldn't matter. And the thing that bothers me the most, and I'll just say this real quick, is people getting upset. It just makes no sense. I wrote a tweet this morning. People are getting upset at other people when those people have nothing to do with their life. And they're wasting their time and energy based on someone else or someone else's behaviors, rather than putting that energy into themselves. And I think if we, as a world, can just start working on ourselves, we can really alleviate this whole racism situation and come together as one. But we have to want it first to change ourselves. And that's just kind of how I see it.
I appreciate that perspective because there's only a few things in life that I truly believe that bring us all together, bring us together as one. I think it's three. One of them is food. The other is music. And then the third thing is sport. And so when we look at sport, especially with the football season, it's coming upon us. What is your favorite team? I'm gonna start with you, Chris, and I want to get to Eric after that. What's your favorite team coming up for the football season, and what are you looking forward to?
Man, so I've known you for quite some time because I'm a Jets fan. So you caused a little bit of disruption in that AFC East for a little bit. It's been a brutal upbringing for me being a Jets fan. What am I looking forward to? I really admire the new wave of quarterbacks: Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. I really think these guys are revolutionizing the game. I love it. I'm also looking forward to Tua down in Miami. Starting to get in there behind the center. So looking at the quarterbacks, that's something. But another thing is I'm looking at Cam, man. I respect Cam Newton so much. I think that he gets so much, negative publicity. But from what I've seen over the last 5 months, is a man that's on a mission, is a man that's just in the zone. And to be quite honest with you, it looks like his energetic level is at another vibration. And I feel bad for anyone that's going to be going up against him. Because let me tell you, when you have a chip on your shoulder and you are in tune with yourself like that, he's going to cause a huge disruption, man. And I'm looking forward to that. Even though I'm a Jets fan, I'm just really excited for Cam. And I think, in all honesty, that this is going to be probably one of his best seasons, no lie.
I agree with your analysis too, Chris. You're well-rounded. I've really been paying attention to Tua down in Miami because I think the faster that he becomes healed, people better watch out in the AFC East, including your Jets, Chris. Yeah. Eric, you up next. What's up?
Woo! Raven Nation, Raven flock, man. Baltimore, baby. Black and purple. Let's go. Lamar Jackson, if you can hear this, if you can see this, I believe in you. I know you can get it done. You must get it done. But I just need to get a playoff win. We just need a playoff win, LJ. Just a playoff win. Just one. Just let us know that you can get it done. But in all honesty, I'm just ready for sports in general. I think the world needs it. The fans need it. It's healing. It lifts us up. It gives us something to focus on. Gives us energy, belief that something great can happen. I just want to see a good season. Shouts out to Patrick Mahomes. Cam Newton with his new job. I'm really looking forward to Tom Brady down in Tampa. You know?
Yeah, I forgot about him. Yeah,
lost, I'm going for the Pats.
Mm-hmm.
I'm rooting for OBJ, Odell. You know, I believe in this guy. I know he has the ability. I know he can make it out, but I just want him to put some numbers on the board. And I'm gonna be honest. I'm waiting for AB to come back in the league. I feel like he got something to prove. I feel like you put him on a team, he gonna do numbers.
You think he'll come back?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if Ozzie Newsome is still over at the Ravens, but get the kid. Get him over there. Get him over there. I can't really, worry about the personal, but I know when to get on that field.
But you can't have the football player without the personal, though.
You know what I'm saying? So, hey, let that boy play what he do. Let him play ball, because he's something to watch, and I want to see him on the field this year. So, those are my thoughts. Shouts out to the Ravens. Let's get it.
For sure. So, as fans, though, like Takeo and I actually talked about this the other day, but as fans, how do you think the season is going to look with all the rising cases of COVID-19? We don't know if half of the country is going back on lockdown. Like, what will this season look like?
Yeah, so I think right now the NBA is kind of helping us understand the measures that they're putting in the protocol. And first off, it gives us a way to measure how everything's going to look. If the NBA season starts off and it starts going as planned and everything's good and they have low testing positive cases, I think what we'll see is a translation into the NFL. Now, people talk about, tackling and obviously the physicality of the sport. But here's the thing, man, is one, I hate to say it, but money is a big issue in the NFL, right? And at the end of the day, they're going to do whatever they can to make sure that they get on TV and somehow they get at least 25% of the fans in the stands. I do think we'll see 25% fans in the stands in the NFL, and I think that we'll have a full season for sure.
I agree. I think it's needed. Like, I know, with the basketball players talking about it's going to cause a distraction. Nah, I don't think it's going to cause a distraction. I think it's going to help, because players and everybody on the field or on the court can use that platform. Like, sports gives us hope,
Yeah.
And I look at it like this. We get more we focus on, We focus on a bad for so long, it's going to be bad forever. So you need balance.
Yeah.
Equilibrium. You need the balance. So I'm here for football to get started. Hopefully we can get you guys on a big network talking about football. I would love to see that, outside of the podcast. And I think it's time. It's time. So we'll see.
Hey, bro, before we let y'all go, man, we appreciate the time, the expertise, and the analysis, too, from the football side. Very impressed, Chris. Very impressed, E. I want to know this, and our viewers would like to know, how can they keep up with you and also support your book again?
Yeah, I mean, so you can find our book now, the physical copies, on Amazon right now. There you go. Eric's showing it up right there. And then in about a month or so, it'll be in stores. But right now, the physical copy is available online on Amazon. The book is called Transformation. And then where you can find us, I mean, at Chris Randone on Twitter, at Chris Randone on Instagram. It's pretty simple.
Yep. And you can find me on Instagram at Eric Bigger, Twitter, Eric_Bigger. Get the book, Transformation, change your mindset, change your energy, change your life. DM us, tweet us, talk to us. We want to help those. We're looking forward in the future to do some seminars and some pop-ups, and we want to talk to the people. So we want to help the people evolve. Yeah.
Sure. We know a couple of blue checks, and you just told them to DM you. So don't listen. They coming your way, brother.
All right, fellas, man. Appreciate the time. One love, fellas.
Thank you, man.
Take care. Blessings.